Clearly, we've entered the twilight zone. We are in a situation here in the Bay Area that we've not been in a very long time. Listings aren't moving. It's taking longer and longer for listings to sell. And as we know, or as some of you might know, some of you have been doing this for a long time, maybe not all of you, but if you're watching this right now, you've been doing this for a long time, you know that there's a big differentiator between the good listing agents and the great listing agents. Good listing agents can take listings. That shit's not hard to do, especially in a market like this. But what separates the good from the great? The good listing agents can take listings. The great agents can get price reductions. And that's exactly what I'm going to help you with right now. This is Danny Gould, selling Silicon Valley. And really, what I want everyone to remember is that at the beginning, if you are watching this video, you have to remember that what is going to help you get a price reduction is the dialogue that you use at the beginning. And so during the beginning of a listing appointment with the seller, you sit down with them. One of the most impactful pieces of dialogue that I was taught from my coach, Lorna Hines, who I love dearly, respect dearly. She has done so much for me and for my business. Lorna would always tell me or would always talk about this one piece of dialogue. And I didn't realize how impactful it was until the market turned for the first time during my career. I got into real estate about 2014. And in 2018, we had that market shift for the very first time. And I didn't realize how impactful this dialogue was until I used it for the first time, and it actually helped me get a price reduction. All right, I kept you in suspense enough already. Here's the dialogue. When you sit down with the seller, you let them know, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is a beautiful home. It's an amazing house, and I have no doubt that it's going to sell. The only reason to have me here right now is to help you get the highest possible price for your home. That's what you want, right? They're gonna say yes, of course. Now here's the dialogue. In this market, there's only two reasons a home isn't going to sell. It's either marketing or it's price. That's the dialogue. In this market, there's only two reasons a home doesn't sell. It's marketing or it's price. Now, ideally, during the listing presentation, before you end, you get the commitment from the seller. You ask them, you reconfirm, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, have you heard of any other marketing strategies, any other techniques that you believe would be more impactful in helping you get more eyeballs on the property and ultimately helping you sell for the highest possible price? Have you heard of any other strategy that you think would be more important in helping you get that? And if you've done your job correctly, the answer should be no. If you've conveyed your value correctly, the answer should be no. If you actually have good fucking marketing, the answer should be no. Now, it's up to you to go out there and do your job. It's up to you to go out there now and actually do the marketing that's going to help them. Listen, if you just put it on the MLS and you just sit there and pray for the home to sell, you're screwed and you're a shitty agent, honestly. So what are you doing right now in this market to make sure that everyone, all buyers and agents know about the house? If you've done that effectively, you can come in, you prepare. After 15 days on market or 30 days on market, whatever time you've designated in your mind that you're gonna go in there if you haven't gotten the right traction. And here's the dialogue. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, typically what we look for in any given week, getting 2 to 3 private showings a week, typically. And by the way, like it might be a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the area, the location, the price range, and the situation that your listing is in. But typically in Silicon Valley, in the Bay Area, for a home price between 500 and 5 million, we would expect 2 to 3 private showings a week before the home sells. And so here's what you do. You sit down with the seller, you say, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, here's the activity report. Over the last 2 weeks, we've had 2 showings total. What we really look for is actually about double or triple that. We look for 2 to 3 showings per week. That's the sign of a healthy market. That's the sign of a healthy listing. And so when we're behind that for several weeks in a row, 1 week is okay, but if we're behind that several weeks in a row, then it's time for us to revisit and look at things. And so here's what we've done on the marketing side of things. And you're gonna take them through all the marketing that you've done. Show them how many impressions you've gotten on social media. Show them how many impressions you've gotten on Redfin, Zillow, Realtor.com. Show them how many postcards you've sent out. Show them how many text messages you've sent out to agents in around the area. Show them how many people have come to the listing website, etc. So you're gonna show them all the marketing. And if you've done your job correctly, you should have a minimum over a 2-week period, 7,000 to 10,000 impressions total. If you can do that, you're a good marketer. If you are not doing that, then you need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what you could do differently. But 7,000 to 10,000 impressions is a lot of impressions. And so at that point, and by the way, if you want suggestions or tips or clues on how to get your impression count up to that amount, please comment below. I can send you some very actionable things that are very easy for you to implement to get your view count and impression count that high across all platforms combined. So at that point, you say, listen, people are seeing the home. The home isn't selling, not for lack of visibility. People are seeing it. So like I said before, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, there's only two reasons a home doesn't sell. It's either marketing or price. We've done our job. It's being marketed. People are seeing it. They're not saying no to the home. They're saying no to and you let them finish it. I promise you, if you use that technique, if you use that strategy the next time that you work with a client, you will 1000% get the price reduction. It's not a matter of, oh, I might get no, you will get a price reduction if you use that approach the way that I just taught. This is Danny Gould, everyone. I'm selling Silicon Valley, and I'll catch all of you in the next video. Stay legendary, everybody.